2025 has borne out some pretty dramatic changes in the credit card points and miles game, which has caused some drastic changes in my personal strategy, and I'm going to cover that today.
Pivot! Pivot! Shut up! Shut up! Shut up!
First things first, if you find any value in this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I'll be referencing a website. It's mine. You can use it. Just come over here to the sign up button, click there, click any of these buttons to log in, and you are in. So if you watched my strategy video that I posted at the beginning of 2025, you'll know that I was planning on going all in on Citi. And the reason for that was because of the American Airlines partnership. I live in DFW area. My hub is an American Airlines hub. I plan on just going full Citi and dumping literally all my points into American Airlines because I'm always, anytime I'm traveling, I'm flying out of DFW on an American Airlines flight. And it seemed to just make sense. There was two, maybe three things that happened this year that kind of ruined that. One is we had planned on getting these cards little by little throughout the year so that when the partnership finally came into effect, I was thinking it would be 2026, but it actually happened much earlier than that. So I started with my wife because I was way over 524. I had a bunch of inquiries, so I knew that they were going to give me problems. The Citi has always given me problems, so I was gardening my credit report just to give it a little breathing room so that they would not deny me, because they've definitely denied me in the past a couple times. So I tried with hers and she still got denied. I don't even think she got denied because of any kind of credit issue. I believe it was because I had a freeze on the account. I submitted it through some special mail offer and then it said it was frozen. And then I tried it again and then it didn't go through. I think because I had already used the code and all that, so I just never got back to it. And then the second thing that happened was around the springtime, my parents and my wife and I had decided to build a home that we could live in together because they're getting up in age and, you know, they're going to need someone to take care of them. So we're doing a multi-family home out sort of in the country. So that required a home loan, which completely derailed me in terms of applying for a bunch of credit cards this year. So I had to keep my credit clean for the construction loan and eventually the final home loan. So that was the second thing that kind of derailed that. So we were not trying for Citi cards all this year. I haven't applied for anything this year at all on my credit report because at that point we decided to do the house. And the third thing that happened this year that affected my strategy was that Alaska Airlines merged with Hawaiian Airlines. Now I was doing pretty well that I could take American Express membership rewards and transfer those into Hawaiian miles and then transfer those into Alaska Airlines. But the problem was Alaska has some partnerships with other credit cards, not Amex, so the Hawaiian miles relationship had to go away with American. But you know, for a minute there, when you could go from American Express to Hawaiian miles to Alaska Airlines, which Alaska Airlines pretty much just flies American Airlines anywhere near me. It was fantastic for me booking flights domestically. And I was kind of all in on American Express for most of this year. And I dump all my dining and groceries in American Express Gold. And then I was just throwing them all over to Alaska Airlines. But since this is no more, we can no longer do this, then I'm kind of stuck on Amex. So I don't really have a lot of other options with membership reward points that I've been utilizing. So I'm sure there's some magic formula in here somewhere that I just haven't found. Okay, go to Etihad, whatever. But right now I use them for Hilton and then I was using them for Hawaiian to Alaska. Avios, I kind of got burned a couple times. I have points stuck there that are probably not going to use, at least not anytime soon. So I'm a little timid to use airlines that I don't utilize very often because I tried to book, I think twice now, that points stuck in Avios. It just was too much of a pain, easy to get stuck over there. Can I use them eventually? Sure. But I don't know. So my typical usage has been for Hilton or for like I said, Hawaiian to Alaska, which is no more. So the only really path that I currently would probably use Amex membership rewards points is Hilton. I did just dump a bunch over to Hilton because they have the 1 to 2.5 ratio going on, a special going on right now, bonus. So I did dump a bunch over there. I don't see myself getting the 2 cent per point on membership rewards, me personally. Can you do it? Sure. Am I going to be doing it over the next year? Probably not. So I am going to value these right now at 1.05 cents per point because that's what I can dump them over to Hilton with the bonus. Otherwise, it'll just be around 1 cent per point. So with that off the table, and with Citi really not going to work out for me, I don't have any Citi cards, and I don't foresee adding them anytime soon. Will I do that? Probably start next year, working towards 2027, maybe. So this summer, the Sapphire Reserve card got a complete overhaul, and most think that was terrible and bad for them. However, every time I go to look at using that card to book a vacation, it has actually improved on saving what I would normally spend. So using transfer partners was pretty difficult for Chase because I don't really use Hyatt, I use Hilton. So I was more married to Amex in terms of booking hotels. And then I would just normally use the Sapphire Reserve for the 1.5 in the travel portal where I could get it at any, for anything. So it was always sort of my backup. Okay, well, I don't really have a good transfer situation, or I don't have enough points here and there. I would just use partial points, booking through the travel portal, at least getting the 1.5. It's better than just 1 cent per point. However, usually what I'm booking are things that I am finding are in the edit now. Like the edit hotels are usually the hotels I'm looking to book. And I proved that out with the vacation we were booking for Austin over the Labor Day weekend. Every single hotel that we looked at was on the edit list, and we booked one of the edit hotels, and that's what we would have done. The thing about booking Hilton with points is, it's always like you want to get a good value on your points, you're going to be looking at the city, or you're going to looking at the courtyard. You're not going to get the ocean view. And a lot of the hotels that, when you're using points, it's just not even available. So then you have to book with cash. But if you book through a travel portal, and you get 2 cents per point in a travel portal because you're booking some nice hotel, which generally what I book anyway for the nice room, then 2 cents per point is great. Now where it falls short is, again, I'm at DFW Hub, which is American Airlines. So all the points boost for flights through the Chase portal for the 1.75 on economy or 2 cents per point on first class is you have to book through United, and American Airlines is the hub at DFW. Well, United is a hub at a ton of places where I would be flying anyway, so there's still good deals flying out of DFW on United to other hubs like New York, Chicago, LA, Denver, Washington, DC. So there's tons of hubs that United is going to fly to that they're going to fly to DFW too. So, it's not like I wouldn't be able to fly on a United flight. I don't think that's going to be a problem. So right now, here's my current card setup. These are my no annual fee cards. This is my wife's no annual fee cards. So those will be there no matter what. So the chopping block cards are these 4 cards, and then some potential applications that I might add to this as soon as I'm outside of my home loan stuff are these 2 cards right here. So let's just go over my no annual fee cards. I have the Blue Business Plus. So if I end up getting rid of the Amex cards, then I can keep my Blue Business Plus, park any points that I have in there. Not a problem. I won't lose anything I have if I don't want to use those right away. Most likely though, I would just throw those over to Hilton. I had the Hilton Honors free cards, that's fine. I have the Business Prime for Prime purchases. I have Freedom Unlimited, Freedom Flex, Discover It. I have the Bank of America, which is my oldest card. It was a custom cash, wasn't using it. I wanted to see how the Bank of America travel portal was, so I just switched it over there just so I could get access to that. Not impressed, by the way. And then the Aviator Advantage. So this, I think, is supposed to convert over to a city card at some point. Maybe that's my step in. That's why I've kept this one around as well, just because I know this is probably going to end up as a city card. It may not. I mean, it hasn't yet. So I'm not sure what's going to happen. If you guys know what's going to happen, if something has changed, the last I heard was these cards were going to convert to city cards at some point. And then my wife, she also has a flex, so we can get up to $3,000 a month in the bonus categories every month. She has the Cash Plus, which I was kind of down on this. I mean, not really down on it. It was kind of blah on it, but we're getting great points on our utility bills, big time. So we're getting 5x on our utility bills, and it hits right at around the utility bills and the water bills and the gas and all that. Hits right at the spending cap for this card. So it's kind of perfect. The Quicksilver used to be the Venture Rewards card, and I just didn't need the annual fee because the Venture X covered everything that card covered. And so I just downgraded that to Quicksilver. That's all they gave. It didn't give us an option to go to anything else, unfortunately, but that was the only thing we could go down to. And then we have the Wells Fargo. Right now, we just use that as our gas card. And then the Saver card, we don't really use at all because I put all groceries on the Amex Gold at the moment. So the Platinum, I don't really use except to book flights outside of the portal, which I did do last year. It did come in handy. And then, of course, all the credits that come with it. So the Walmart Plus and everything, we absolutely use that. 10 cents on gas, and then the Paramount Plus streaming. So, I mean, it's come in handy, but if we go away from gold, I'm definitely getting rid of the Platinum as well. And in the Venture X, now it kind of pays for itself if you use it that one time for the travel credit. Again, this is one of the cards that I haven't really found more than 1 cent per point on. Like I've only used it a few times in the travel portal, which you're getting 1 cent per point. Now I accrue so many points on it because I'm using it as the 2x catch-all card. So I always have a ton of points on my Venture X. And it's easy to go, oh, okay, I need to rent a car. I got tons of points in the Capital One miles, so just use that to rent a car. Just use that to book the hotel. Like, there's just always so many points in there. It's not even funny. But if I go all in on the Sapphire, if everything works out, we'll cover that here in a minute in the wallet setup comparisons. But then maybe I drop the Venture X as well. I don't even use the Saver, and I can use the Freedom Unlimited. If I'm getting 2 cents per point, maybe that's better than 1 cent per point. What is 1 cent per point on the Venture X 2X? So that's what we're going to cover today. So we're going to jump into the wallet setups and see what the data ferrets out. So first, like I said, I changed the membership rewards because this is basically what I'm getting on the membership rewards. So I changed and edited the points on those. So let's do the same for the Capital One miles. I have not historically been getting 1.85. So I'm going to change those to 1 cent per point because that's basically how I've been using them. So those are 1 cent per point to me. Now, again, you could be really pulling together some great values on these, and you can go and change that to whatever you typically get for Capital One miles. I'm just going historically, my habits are how I use the Capital One miles is just booking in the travel portal. Since that's the case, 1 cent per point. So then let's come over to the Ultimate Rewards, the Chase points, and the pointsguy.com values those at 2.05 cents per point. I think that's, for me, even a little high. And the reason is, if I'm using these in the travel portal and I'm even booking edit hotels and all that stuff, I'm not always going to get 2 cents per point or higher. So I'm typically, when I book domestic flights, which I am going to do a lot more than normal next year. When I book domestic flights, I'm getting the 1.75 cent per point. And then when I'm booking hotels, I'm usually booking the 2 cent per point values on the hotels. And so you mix that together, and I'm just going to put 1.85 as sort of a mixture between the flights and the hotels and so on. It's going to be a rough estimate. but it's definitely not always 2, but it's definitely not always 1.75 either. So I'm gonna put those there, and then we'll come to the wallet setups now. And I already have these loaded up to be all my cards with just Venture X, all my cards with just the Sapphire and the Sapphire Preferred. Let me get rid of the Preferred for just for a second here. And then all my cards with just Amex. So if I pick a lane and just went with that, what would it be? So right off the bat, you can see it's so much better with my spending and my values that I have historically been getting with the cards. Just having the Sapphire Reserve is a better deal than having just the Venture X or just the Gold and the Platinum. Now I could see if getting rid of the Platinum would help. So it's even better without the Platinum on there on my spending. So I am using the annual spending. So it's my normal spending with travel. I have some others with without travel if I didn't travel that year or so on. But with my normal spending, my actual normal spending, it's so much better with just the Sapphire because of the way I use the Sapphire, because of the way I use the Venture X, because of the way I use the Amex Gold. Now I know you guys will all be using your cards completely differently, which is totally fine, and that works for you, great. I'm just saying what works for me from what I can see is the Sapphire it's not even close the way to go. So if you have a similar spending than I do, then you should probably look at that as well, because it might end up being the same for you, which is, nicer hotels. You want the ocean view. You're going to get the edits with the ocean view. You're going to get 2 cents per point on those. You're going to get a lot more value out of your points than the 1 cent per point, 1 cent per point on the other cards. Now, we got 4, 5, 6, 9, and if I apply for the preferred and get approved for that, so that I can use that for groceries for 787. So it's even a little bit better with the preferred because I can use that for groceries. So as you can see right down here, as we scroll down on the spending, it's pretty much across the board except on groceries, which it's still good. And actually I use groceries online, so it even wins there. So I'll be doing groceries online because I have to with the preferred, and it wins all the way down the board. Yeah, I mean, there's not one single category that it doesn't do better on, except the annual fee is going to be a lot higher because of the Sapphire's high annual fee. But if I'm getting rid of the Platinum, I'm getting rid of the Venture X, it's my only real annual fee card unless I get the Sapphire Preferred. So as you can see, my new strategy is literally just to get rid of the Venture X and to get rid of Amex Gold and Platinum and stick solely with Chase. So I'll be using, instead of the 2X on the Venture X, I'll be using the Unlimited for the first time ever. So that'll be interesting. And I'll be utilizing the Flex a lot more. And then using preferred for groceries, and then, any of those cards for dining. I'm hoping to just start generating tons and tons of Chase points where then I could really use those points in booking edits and booking flights through the Chase portal. Now I have noticed that it's a little more expensive in the Chase portal sometimes. It's not crazy. It's gonna deviate a percentage point on the point redemptions on the CPP. So I don't think it's a huge deal on the comparisons that I've done. But let me know what you guys think. Am I missing something? Let me know, because I like saving money. And if I've missed something, put it in the comments below. If you find any value in this video, please like and subscribe to the channel. I invite you to do this same thing on the richwithpoints.com website. Share your results. If you don't know what that whiteboard feature is that I was using, it's a new feature on the website. I have a video that I did for that linked below. But wish me luck, and we will see you next time.
Okay, I don't think it's gonna pivot anymore.
You think?